This year marks the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. The milestone celebrated throughout the year with award show performances, summer tours with some of the genre's biggest legends and stars. Now, Boston is often overlooked for its influence in the early growth of hip-hop, but UMass Boston has taken the role of archiving this living musical history. And joining us today is Acrobatic. He's a performer and American Studies lecturer at UMass Boston. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me. It's great to be with you.
Good to have you here to talk about this. How did you go from a fan of hip-hop to a performer and now a professor?
Wow. Well, I think that, in the earliest days, it was just about the records my mom was playing around the house and me falling in love with hip-hop music that way through, some of the earlier big hits like The Message and Rapper's Delight and stuff like that. And then Run DMC came out. And then that's when I was like, okay, I really want to do this. And then, a few years later, Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs, which is a Roxbury hip-hop group. Ed O.G. is a good friend of mine. He's like the icon of Boston hip-hop music. And I saw him in a video on TV.
That was it, right?
They had Nubian Square, you know what I'm saying, in the video and all of that. It was amazing to see, and that made me feel like, yeah, maybe I can do this.
Rapper's Delight, I remember that one. Now, college radio played a big role in getting artists like yourself launched in the 90s. Tell us about that.
Well, college radio, you're right, very instrumental. I mean, my first couple of releases got me national and international acclaim because of college radio. Yeah, WRBB.
WERS?
WERS, I would say more so than anyone. They 88.9 at night for so many years was, that made Boston hip hop artists household names in our own city before we even got the national acclaim, and that's really big for any artist on the way up.
Now, how has the hip hop archive at UMass captured those days, and how do you use it in your class?
Yeah, well, so the archive itself, is basically the brainchild of DJ Pacey Foster, a DJ from here in Boston, hip hop archivist, and he's also a professor at UMass, I believe, in the business school. And having the archive there, it brings a community together. We have a couple of yearly events where people from all over the city bring in their memorabilia, old flyers and tapes. We have digitized copies of all the old college radio shows that you were just referring to. Well, not all of them, but we have so many of them. So that stuff actually we add to it with students' work, so students do more research about hip hop in Boston while they're taking my classes, and some of their projects end up going into the archive as well. And they've also helped collect the oral histories of a lot of the artists, because the beautiful thing about hip hop is that 50 years, it's still young, so a lot of the people who are the pioneers,
that's a good way to say it.
So,
why is what you teach an important in terms of history, and how do you believe it impacts the UMass students of today?
Well, I definitely feel like this is an important question. I'm glad you asked it, because Black history obviously is so instrumental to learning about American history. If you don't have Black history in your history curriculum, you're not giving a full American history curriculum. And in that same regard, I think that if you're not giving a full hip-hop culture education as part of your curriculum, then you're missing out on some key components of the Black experience and the history of the Black experience in America. So that, I have students that come through my class that are nursing students and, computer science majors, all from all different walks of life. But at the end of the day, they feel like my class was probably the one that taught them the most about how to actually deal with other folks in the real world that they might not know. So I think that part of it is very important.
Now, we hear stories about people being discovered on YouTube and TikTok. How does that fit into the idea that the underground is where artists can develop their credibility?
Right. Well, the underground to me still is what it's always been, which is real life interactions in the community between folks. I like the fact that there are more platforms where people can get seen, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, because while more people can be seen and heard, there's also more of a watering down and saturation of the art itself, because everybody can put
speaking of
music out.
saturation of the art, when hip-hop rap first came out, Now, Madison Avenue uses it in commercials. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that the mainstream in America is always going to see the profitable part of any cultural phenomenon and slice the top layer off of it and add it to whatever their plan is to meet their bottom line. You know, so a lot of people's exposure to hip hop, or what they see as hip hop, is really their exposure to pop and just the rap music that's extracted from hip hop culture and used to, you know, add to the pop culture narrative, which that's cool too. You know, everybody has their own pop culture, but at the same time, the underground is really where the art
new
and
real
creative
music is coming
fed,
from. Acrobatic, thank you for joining us today to come talk about what's going on over at UMass.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you are performing throughout the summer, is that right? Including at the Lizard Lounge in Cambridge this month.
Yes.
And we're going to put that information up on our
Perceptionist.
website.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Boston Landmarks Orchestra will be performing again this summer at the Hatch Shell on the Esplanade, along with special concerts in Dorchester, Roxbury, Hyde Park, Hyde Square, and Chelsea. The opening concert is on Saturday, June 17th, and marks Landmark's debut performance at the Kroc Center in the Roxbury, Dorchester neighborhood. The concert's free, but registration is required. WCVB is a proud media partner of the Landmarks Orchestra. You can find a link to the rest of the orchestra's schedule on our website at WCVB.com. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at CityLine5, and you can follow me on Twitter at Karen Holmes Ward. Have a great afternoon.